Well, it depends on time. If he drops it off after 7, I'll be there. Yeah.
You might need some further back.
Not really, but a little, barely a little bit. He said we're going to talk about fitness.
Really? Oh, I'm the prime example of that.
I know, right? I'm looking at my arms.
Okay.
Do you want us to pull the
My
curtain?
idea
Or?
of fitness is
It gets a bit hot, doesn't it?
Yeah, I just found that the
It's
AC
loud
for this section was on 78. I just turned it down.
It was on 78?
Yeah, so it should be getting cooler now.
Is that heat or AC?
Oh, we already started with the discussion.
What?
AC on boats being a problem.
Yeah, problem. That's
good
why you
sign.
need Yetis.
Yeah, keep it all cool. Okay. Oh, Christ. You ready? What?
Sound check. Good. Okay.
And we're back between two Yetis, and we're live-ish. We're here as part of a 3-session series on crew health, mental and physical. And you are our actual hosts of the Oasis.
We
correct?
are. We're the premier
Absolutely.
sponsor. Bluewater is.
You're the most important person here. And Tim's kowtowing to you.
Hardly.
No,
We are partners.
Yeah, the Oasis comes together because of many different people and companies making it work. And Amy's company steps up and became the title sponsor. And yeah, this is all about us being able to say thank you and giving back to the crew that give us business during the year. Hence the Oasis concept.
Mm-hmm.
So
I don't know if anybody in the audience knew. Oh, by the way, we're in front of a live studio audience today. Thank you. And I don't know if anybody realizes, but Tim was actually the originator of Captain's Hideout.
Yep.
Way back when.
Way back when. And look, giving the crew a place to go during the boat show, get away from the madness. The galleys are closed on board the vessels, so it is a chance for them to be treated the way that they treat their guests, and that's what we try to create here.
Yeah. Well, thank you for inviting us to do this. So what we do is a very general, you can see it's very casual between us, but the topics are very serious. And so as part of the 3 parts, today we want to focus on the physical elements of being crew on a boat. Mm-hmm. So let's very quickly just introduce ourselves. So Tim, you are...
Yeah, Tim Davey, funny accent, is from New Zealand. I've been in the boating world all of my life. I started out on commercial cruise ships, came ashore, started up Global Marine Travel, which is a specialized travel agency. We fly captains and crews all around the world from the homes where the vessels are. We do charter flights, and we basically a very big travel agency in town. And then I do the Oasis as my part-time job.
Once a year for about 2 months.
Exactly.
Yeah.
living here.
Yeah. So I'm Amy Ira. I own Bluewater in the USA. My background was with Crew Unlimited. I started in 1993
Really?
as a stewardess and ended up working for the Captain Eddie, the owner of Crew Unlimited, as a Girl Friday. So February to June of 93, I was a Girl Friday running the office, just answering the phone so he could take his wife on to lunch or take his car to the shop, that kind of thing. Long story short, he took his wife on vacation for a month and came back ill and passed away. And before he did, he asked me to take over the company. So I said, we'll talk about it when you get back to the office. Don't worry about it. Let's just get you well. And he didn't get better. So when that happened, I called my mom, of course, and said, what do I do? I had a plan A. This was not it. I had plan B all the way through J of what I was going to do with my life, which was charter yacht, second stew, 140 foot plus in the Med, for the summer only, so I could spend all of my charter tips by working as at the Couturier in Paris, the Chanel Couturier. Put my fashion design degree to use. What is it? Man plans and God laughs. So that was my plan A. Nowhere on my plan of A through J, which I still have that piece of paper, was Crew Unlimited, which is now Bluewater. So it's just
Oh, so
nice
Crew
industry.
Unlimited transferred into Bluewater.
Yeah, in 2016, 2 years ago.
Ah.
Yeah. So now we don't do just crew placement anymore. We do crew placement, yacht charters, charter management, yacht sales, yacht management.
Pretty much
and-
everything.
Right, and training.
And training. Yeah.
Everything.
Do you do sailboats as well?
Yes.
Yeah. And to my left, we have Gustavo, who...
Well, I do a little bit of everything. Professional race car driver, and then avid athlete. I do basically all the water sports. Also in the boat industry, I've been around boats since I was 5 years old. And now I'm a brand ambassador for one of the brands out there, Delta Carbon Yachts, full carbon fiber boats. And it goes, hand in hand with speed, efficiency, racing, and the carbon fiber boats that I represent. So that brings me to the boat show, and well, I'm just in love with the water, and I spend, I think, more time on the water, underwater than on land.
And you're addicted to speed.
And addicted to speed, yeah.
What's the
to go
fastest
fast.
you've ever gone?
Fastest I've ever gone.
Land and water.
Miles. No, not on water. On water, it's been like 80. On land, 325 Ks, which is 210 miles an hour.
Wow.
Something like that.
Oh, that's the speed limit on Los Olos.
That's the speed limit down I-95.
If you can get it.
That's the speed limit down
Need clean air for
I-95.
that.
And you're getting past.
That's true.
Blimey. So who's worked on a boat?
I have. Stewardess.
Oh, big boat, cruise ships.
Cruise ships.
Came through Cunard line. So Queen Elizabeth II, QE2, been on there for a few years. and so
Well, you were
forth.
on QE2?
Yep.
Ah, have you
I
met the
can
Queen?
tell you some stories about that sometime, but off
Okay,
camera.
off camera. And have you ever worked on a boat, or?
Not worked. I spent time on a boat, helping out here and there, but not as an actual decky or anything like that, no.
Well, I've never worked on a boat. So
Yeah.
there's two types of boating. There's yachting, and then there's boating. Yachting, everybody does everything for you, and boating, you have to do it yourself. And I've only ever done yachting.
Okay.
So I haven't really got much to say about what you guys do in the crew and the conditions you have to go through and the trials and so on. So enlighten me. What are some of the challenges that they face?
Well, goodness gracious, where to start? I would say from a stewardess position or point of view, you're the first up in the morning and you're the last to go to sleep at night.
This is the stewardess.
The stewardess. Yeah, you've got to set up breakfast before the guests wake up. So you're first up, 6:30, 7 o'clock. You may have 3 girls and they get up on staggered shifts. So first one up sets up the breakfast buffet, sets the table.
Now, we're
makes
talking
sure-
super yachts, right? So 24
Yes.
meters and above.
Mhm.
Okay.
So you've got most likely 3 girls that are on duty, and they get up, they set up the breakfast. The next one up maybe starts to juice the oranges, juice the grapefruits so that we have fresh grapefruits. Third one up may start cleaning making the beds, turning them down at night. Just usually heads, beds, and laundry.
Heads,
Beds, laundry, and service.
HBL.
Heads, beds, laundry, and service. So service is the first thing that the guests want.
What's
when
that thing? GTL? Gym Tan Laundry? Is that something?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
I like it though.
So stewardesses are really up at the air. There's no rest through the.
Very little. So in a normal day with guests on board, you're up at 6:30, 7 or 7:30. You've had your breakfast, you've had your makeup on, you've had your shower, you're ready for guest presence from the minute that you're on deck. And
you're on.
And you're on. Chances are your guests are not up. Thank God, most of the time they're not up at 6:30 because that would really be exhausting. But you do have a lot of work to do to get ready for the guests to get up, and they can start getting up anytime they like. Some of them stay up late and get up late. Some of them stay up late and get up early. Some of them stay up all night long.
And if
But
the
you've gotta
guests,
be
guests
available.
are up, the crew have to be up. Is that the way it works?
Yes. Yes. Well,
And there's 2 types of crew. There's the interior and the exterior, so all the mechanical stuff and then all the interior stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
And the deckie's first job outside is to chamois, make everything dry in case the first guest, maybe the principal, has his cup of coffee and wants to go outside onto the aft deck and read his cup of coffee. If he sits down, his butt gets wet, somebody's in trouble. Everything's got to be chamoised off. So that's the boy's first job. Girl's first job is getting breakfast set up so that when he wants his coffee, the machine's already hot and ready to give him his espresso.
Okay, so it's very detail orientated.
Well, yeah, you're making magic all the time. So nothing can look difficult. It all has to look magic. The vacuuming doesn't happen when you've got guests on board because you would never want the guests to hear the vacuum running. It's supposed to stay clean like magic. Yeah. So that's everything has to be
on
done
a cruise ship.
behind
It's
the
slightly
scenes.
different, though, right?
It is, but on super yachts, it's about anticipation. It's
Right.
You're trying to be one step ahead of the guests and thinking for them, without them knowing that something's happened. I think to demonstrate the point. Cruise ships are very much the same way, especially the upper end, higher end cruise ships and things. So
It's
about
being prepared.
ahead. Giving good service.
So you probably know about sleep deprivation.
Oh yeah,
Because you were just saying you did Le Mans 24.
24 hours.
Oh, wow.
So I know this is a major thing on boats, that the crew have very short periods in which to catch up on sleep. Terrible conditions most of the time to sleep. Yes? No?
Yeah.
Are they getting improving?
It's a different story whether you have guests on board or not. Without guests on board, you've got a completely different job. But when you've got guests on board, your focus is on making sure that they have everything they want before they ask for it. So you have it available and ready for them. So if you are any crew member on board, you've got your morning shift, the guests go ashore for lunch or go playing in the water or go shopping somewhere. So you've got a couple of hours of downtime. You need to be able to sleep on demand so that you can, after you've had your 2-hour break, where you're really not having a break, you're actually just trying to catch some sleep. And then when they get back on board, you've got to have cocktails ready because it's going to be sundown any minute now. Once they've gone down to take their showers, you're setting up the table for dinner. Once they're having their dinner, they're turning down their beds ready for when they go to sleep and cleaning the cabins all in between.
Is this why yacht crew is particularly a young person's game?
Yes. Yes, on the interior. On the interior. Otherwise, how do you have the stamina? There's really
Good audience participation.
choking on a brownie.
So yeah, it's like to what, 40 and then you come ashore.
Oh, don't get me started on that. But the girls age out faster, not from an age standpoint, but from a cycle of life. If you're going to have a family, if you're going to find a husband, and you want to have a family, he's either going to be a yacht captain and you're going to do it together, or you need somebody who's going to be shore-based with you. So the girls get out of the business a lot earlier than the captains. Captains can make an entire career of it and still have a family ashore. But the girls, they can't leave their babies if they have any. So they have to get out of yachting before they're in their early 40s anyway, if they even stay that long. But usually it's the lifespan of a stewardess is not anywhere close to that of a captain from a career perspective.
Blimey. From a guy's perspective, did you start polishing decks and work your way up, or did you do training and then went in?
Well, me personally, a little bit of a different route. I mean, I'm a chef by trade. That's how I started.
Right. Were you in the army?
No.
Okay.
Otherwise, I'd have a physique like him.
It's under there, Tim.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
under
yeah.
there.
I just got to find it one day. You're sitting here and put us to shame.
Come on.
But I was working as chef d'etage at the Savoy Hotel in London, and I looked after a gentleman one evening, and he turned out to be a recruiter for Cunard, and he said, I want you to come on the QE2 and do what you're doing here, sort of thing. So I went straight into an officer's position with Cunard Line.
Nice.
So I never had a chance to chamois the decks and things, but since I've been on the yachting side with my company, Global Marine Travel, I've met so many yachties. I know the business. I know the hardship and what it takes. My cousin He started shamming decks, and now he's moved up and he's a captain. I think it's the only way to start out in this business. If I was an owner, I want to know that my crew know every inch of that boat and every inch of the job before I make you a captain and look after that, $20 million asset. So I think, yes, you've got to start at the bottom. You have to expect to enter this business scrubbing toilets, making beds, doing the laundry, doing all the dirty little jobs before moving up.
Do you think owners care about the crew on the whole, or is it they're there to serve?
There are people in the audience probably correct me with this one, but I get the impression that the majority of the owners, at least the ones that I know and work with, do care.
I agree.
Because they don't want the turnover on their boats. When there's turnover, there's turmoil.
There's cost.
Yeah, and cost. And then over the years, I've seen more retention things come out on our side. I have a lot of senior crew having paid business class tickets now from their homes to wherever the vessels are. And that's a good retention. A captain will choose one job or one owner over another if that's a perk of the job. There's health benefits coming in. You asked us about mental health earlier. I see some owners doing mental health screening now because they want to know that this guy in the audience here who has dental health.
Dental health.
But is he sane enough to be driving my boat? Is he going to have some sort of episode that could destroy the boat and lives? So I see more of that coming in.
I'd like to see more of that. And other background checks altogether.
Right.
Yeah. On the sleep deprivation side,
Yeah,
because I can see that's going to be the biggest area of the physical aspect of it. It's just going to wear you down. So I assume it's...
Well, I don't know if it's just sleep deprivation, because in the end of the day, you can't sleep. When I do the long races, there's no sleeping for 36 hours, because the race, a 24-hour race, doesn't start at 8 a.m. in the morning. It'll start at 3 p.m., right? But you still got to get up at 8 and go through meetings and prepare the event, prepare everything. And then the race starts at 3. Then you're up all night because you're jacked up on Red Bull and caffeine pills.
You genuinely
Adrenaline.
drink this?
Yeah.
This keeps you awake?
Oh, yeah. Have you tried it at night? Doesn't it keep you awake?
No.
No comment? Okay.
This is why I haven't opened it, because I know it's
It does work. I mean, it does work.
Yeah.
And
Gives you
but then
weight.
like you said,
what
I have
happens?
it with alcohol.
Right.
It keeps you awake,
for
and
dinner
then
together.
you're just jacked up on it. And even when you're not driving, you can't sleep. So basically, you're awake until midnight the next day after the race, because then the race ends at 3, and then you're either celebrating or crying or whatever it is that you're doing.
Or wrenching on the car.
Or and then you just gotta gather your stuff and then go wherever you're going next, and you don't get to put your head down till midnight the next day. So you're up for quite a long time. But being on boats for many years, I think just being on the water and being
It's exhausting.
and
isn't
being
it?
in the sun.
When you're underway, it is. When
Yeah.
the boat's moving, you're always adjusting, and you get your sea legs. Hopefully, you're not too seasick. But the first sign of seasickness is drowsiness.
So, what are some of the physical ailments that a 40-year-old will start feeling?
Besides exhaustion and all of the snappiness and grouchiness and
Injuries?
emotionalness of being tired, besides all of that, I have seen back injuries from overexertion. I've seen back injuries from alcohol use and accidents that happen as a result.
All right, you opened up the door now. Okay, alcohol.
Are you allowed to drink while
Yeah.
you're on duty? You are while on duty.
Yeah, well, depends on which boat, and it depends on, like I said, whether you've
On the
got guests
owner?
on boat. But the captain sets the rules. So whoever the captain is and however he runs it, some boats are dry boats, most are not. Most boats, you'll have a couple of glasses of wine with your dinner, not necessarily with your lunch, but if you're in Europe, then you'll probably have wine with your lunch as well.
So let's talk about the alcohol
Use and abuse.
and abuse, because it's, as Clayton, who was on the panel yesterday, was saying, when he got into yachting, it was a gap year. It was to go and have this great adventure. It's sort of become more of a career now. But the alcohol is still very much
part of the lifestyle.
Part of the lifestyle.
Yeah. When I interview someone that says, I don't drink at all.
You know they're lying.
Or recovering. Because it's really not otherwise you don't drink because it's a religious thing, and there's not a whole lot of room in the yachting industry for religion.
I don't drink that much.
Well, you're an athlete. So you are different in that respect.
I'm not recovering, I promise.
No? But you're an athlete. So you probably, if you did drink, then it would affect your stamina, being able to stay up for your 36 or your 24 hours of driving.
It takes me a week to recover from
Are you driving the whole 24, or are you doing it with the team
No,
of 3
you're
other
doing
drivers?
you're doing it with a team of drivers. So it's 3 to 4 drivers.
Okay.
So you drive for 3 hours and rest for 6 to 8, and then get back in.
We have now, thanks to the MLC 2006, the hours of work and rest.
I'm working cameras at the moment.
Hours of work and rest, and it restricts the yacht crew to 77 hours of work per week. So if you've got guests on board and they get up at 7 o'clock, if you're the early girl and you get up at 7, just say.
You're done by 7.
You should be, but you're not really.
No.
And because when you're driving like an HGV vehicle, you've got set clock in, clock out times.
Right, and you've got 3 rotations of crew, of people to manage that. On a yacht, you don't have the beds to have a full rotation of like on duty, first shift, second shift, and third shift. So you have to just space it out as much time as you can. Have a break from right after lunch, 1 o'clock, and not back on until 5 o'clock. So I think that the rule of thumb is you need 13 crew to be able to actually execute 77 hours per week per person.
Blimey.
So you need a really big boat to be able to technically comply with the hours of work and rest. It's sort of the cart before the horse, this whole idea of
So my experience with crew is at crew parties, yacht chandlers, national, and you guys go, when you let your hair down, but it's sort of like if you're on for that long and then you get to release the
pop the
cork.
Yeah. And then you get to sleep like the whole next day, and then you start all over again.
So it's just a cycle, and you do burn out.
Yes.
So what are the consequences of burning out? What have you
quit
seen?
your job, or you lose your job as soon as you burn out. There isn't a whole lot of forgiveness in that respect for burning out. You are expected to be able to maintain, and if you can't,
out you go.
Out you go. Someone else down the quay wants your job. So it is important to pace yourself from an alcohol standpoint. The more mature you get, and the more professional you get, and the more serious you take your job,
the more alcohol you can drink.
You get better at it. You do. Yeah. The liver is evil, and it must be punished.
Have a bottle here now, you know.
Yeah, I'm thirsty all of a sudden.
Now, drugs, are they an issue?
I would like to say no. I think not. But when I talk to crew, I do often hear that there are lots of drugs being used. I don't see it. I don't have the eye for what does it look like to have somebody that's on pills or cocaine. I've not been around it to know. I don't think so. But there's no one testing. Very, very few.
Not even for hiring?
Not even for hiring.
Really?
I would say I've had in my career 25 years of crew placement. Out of 25 years, maybe 15 owners have asked for a drug test from their captain, and probably about the same amount have asked for it from their crew that they're interviewing to hire.
15%.
2 or 3 boats that I know of do a hair follicle test. So they're serious. But out of
What's that? Sweeping
all
it
the rest.
from the bathroom or something? Go around.
No,
and-
no, no.
No, from
They
your
take your
hair.
hair, and that can tell you 25 years of history of your use, what you've been doing, and how
25
much.
years?
Well, it depends.
Yeah. The hair
You
follicle
would
test.
probably have 25 years. I might have like
10.
5 years in here.
Blimey.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah,
but
you've
but
got
in-
your whole life there.
in your business, though, I mean, you get drug
I get
tested
drug tested all the time.
right?
Yeah, yeah, but see
What
the
is a drug
drug test, but the drug test is stupid because the only drug that shows for you can have marijuana in your system for 2 months, okay?
2 months?
2 months, but you can have ecstasy, cocaine, 2C, whatever drug you can imagine in your system, and it's out in 2 or 3 days.
Unless you do a hair follicle test. You're
Unless
talking
you
about
do-
a urine test. Urine test will.
urine test is 2-3
your
days.
body
out.
cycles the other narcotics.
In the hair,
through.
yeah, it's forever.
Yeah.
So if you want to get into the boat business, you can just
Shave your head.
shave it. Yeah,
Is that a way of getting around it?
I don't think so. I
it
think
is. Yeah, if you shave,
Really?
yeah. If you shave,
We're
it's
not
out.
giving tips, by the way.
So you're interviewing a captain, and all of a sudden
If
he's bald.
If he's bald, yeah. If
As soon as he hears he has to have this stuff,
exactly. If
hair
he shows
follicle
up to the
test.
interview with a shiny head,
yeah,
then you know what's
then
up.
you know. All
So you
right.
can assume drugs are an element of life, but we don't know if it's a big problem, or if it's how prevalent it really is.
I don't have any way to tell. I would love to know. I would say that it's probably not such a big problem once they are on a yacht, once they're employed on a yacht, a proper yacht at least, because there is zero tolerance. You've heard of zero tolerance. So zero tolerance on board yachts means that if there's even so much as a seed of marijuana found, the government can confiscate the entire vessel. Case closed, that's it. So a lot of captains take it very seriously and put the rules down, put their foot down from the very beginning. They let all of the new crew are the ones who need to know this first of all, is that you're risking not just your own job, but you're risking the owner's asset. So some of them are very strict about it. Some of the captains also are as much a part of the problem. But I don't think that it's the majority. I'd say it's less than 3% of the world's yacht captains that use illegal substances. That's a guess. I'm just making it up out of my mind, but
Yeah, we do
hear a lot of stories.
We do
hear a lot of stories, but it usually, for the most part, I think
for the most part, it's
they
not
take it
really
seriously.
that.
Captains get paid pretty good money. They're not going to lose,
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
they've not only the perks of the money, but also the autonomy. You know, you've got the ability to manage a crew, to manage charters, to manage a budget, to manage a shipyard period, to manage a build period. You're really at the top of the food chain. So they take it seriously.
We're talking about naughty drugs, but what about uppers and downers? So to sleep, you pop something, to wake back up, you take something else again. That has to be happening.
Sure.
Do you do that?
Red Bull is an upper, right? Caffeine,
I have to.
coffee, for sure.
But when you need to sleep,
sleeping pills.
do you?
Well, it depends how tired. And I do a lot of around the world races, so the jet lag is a big thing for me. And you know, I'm completely screwed up during the day. I can't think. I can't do anything. I'm sleepy, and then 8 p.m. at night comes around, and I'm ready to go. So that's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
So I have to take something, but it just depends. I don't usually my drug of choice is like Advil PM. That usually does it for me.
Mine's NyQuil. If I have a long haul flight,
Yeah,
one
NyQuil.
in my destination.
Yeah, I do that. Advil PM, melatonin, and it depends. I've got some concoctions that
You got your
that I
formulas.
prepare
I'm really-
depending on how long the flight is and where I'm at and how much time I got to sleep, and you know, because the Advil PM you wake up groggy.
Oh, really? The
Yeah.
NyQuil or the what you
Advil
take?
PM and NyQuil, they've got the same active
Yeah, I only
ingredients.
have one instead of the 2-pack.
Okay.
But it's once a year,
This
twice
is turning
a year.
into how to do it.
Well, no, I'm particularly interested because my mother-in-law is coming to visit next week, and I want to sleep through most of it. So this is great advice.
And you do want to wake up groggy.
Yeah, I have no recollection of that visit.
Tylenol PM. Kills the pain and puts you to sleep.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
It works. Add some melatonin to that.
There you go.
Oh dear. So, okay, we'll move away from the drugs. The physical aspect of working on a boat then. So you said back problems are an issue.
Yep.
Overheads are always low. Bunks are always tight.
Bunks are tight.
Surely there's got to be like a length restriction in a bunk. Because most people...
So yes, with the MLC 2006, they also came out with a minimum size of your cabin. I don't know what that square or cubic meters is, but it did finally put something in place that says these
But that's only
bunks
for new
have
builds,
to be.
right?
No, it's for any boat that's a commercially registered yacht. So 300 tons is automatically commercial. Smaller than that is commercial if it's used in commerce for charter. So
Okay.
So anyone
they
doing
are
charter
retroactive.
should be complying with this new law.
They should be, but some of them are
Who
not.
regulates them?
Right, and the U.S. hasn't ratified the MLC 2006. So if it's a charter here, you've got to have somebody to enforce the regulation, even if it was an MLC compliant boat. There's really nobody in the States that's going to enforce it.
And in Europe? Like, is there someone
Europe,
that comes
Port State
aboard
Authority.
and checks?
Yeah, it does
Yeah?
happen.
They are?
They look at logbooks. They look
Port
at
State
people.
Control.
The crew have to all sign off on their hours of work and rest. They have to all have a crew agreement.
That's interesting.
But
Yeah.
look at the deckies and the toys, and the variety of toys available now on
That
yachts.
thing you sell, what is it, the jet lev thing?
Everything.
It's
I
not
do
right.
every water sport.
Right.
All the
But
water
you've got
toys.
to learn
there.
how to lug that around.
Yeah.
You've got to do it in a proper way, and it's got to be stored and poured out and cleaned and so forth. There's a lot of physical work.
It
so,
is.
yeah, with back injuries and things would be prevalent.
Even cleaning. I mean, cleaning is physical. It's
Yeah.
actually physical, not just for your fingernails. It's your whole arms, your body, your core, and it is cleaning. At the end of the day, your main
Rigging
job.
into a harness and climbing over the side.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cleaning down. Yeah.
This brings into, I'm sorry Tim, I'm not looking at you, but
He's not pointing you out.
people who are working on boats can't necessarily be overweight
True.
because you have to,
Be able to do the physical
the
work.
job.
Your first and foremost job is to maintain the vessel, to maintain the owner's asset. That's before you even get to the service part.
so is there like a physical that you have to do to become a crew?
No.
And do it.
Oh yeah, I guess that's right.
Absolutely. And the Coast Guard has the same thing.
But
There's
is-
friendly criteria.
Is that a physical test
That
or is it
well,
a?
there's physical and there's physical attributes that you have to be able to demonstrate. And if there's impairments, they can
So they'll
disqualify.
tell if you're
So there's a minimum
colorblind,
standard.
if you have any epilepsy or anything like that, but you're not having to do 40 push-ups and 25 sit-ups. And
Well, you
12
are actually,
10.
yeah.
Well, USCG and commercial side does it.
Do they? For the
Yeah.
NG one? Okay.
Mostly the commercial world.
What do you have to do?
The Gulf. You actually have to demonstrate to be able to take 20 pounds lifted onto a shelf, 4 stacks at a time onto a shelf that's typically 3 feet high, unstack those, hang on to a knotted rope for 1 minute, and then do
This is-
several steps up and down, up and down.
I want to do this.
And-
Sounds
and
fun.
Hauling hose in line.
'Cause you're
and then
fit.
they check your blood pressure, your heartbeat, and if they're above, if they've gone up a certain gradient, you're disqualified.
That sounds like my warm up.
And that's, yeah, but
Show off.
it's all in the physical criteria and physical abilities criteria.
I want to get my mother-in-law doing that too.
Well, I witnessed, it's another agency in town that does.
There are other agencies here?
There are. I don't like. And they were
There's
doing.
always a lesser.
How dare they?
There's always something. And they were doing recertification for captains for fire and for in-water rescue.
Did it last week.
Oh, you did it last week in the pool. It's physically, because they're wearing the full
Oh, yeah.
safety suits, and you have to pull the.
This is the STCW,
Oh, yeah.
Is that what it is?
probably.
That I mean, I saw a couple of guys get out of the pool and pretty much
Some fail.
done. Yeah.
2 did.
That was the biggest
So there is
lesson I
physical,
learned
okay.
with the STCW.
Yeah.
Don't
And
get
some
into the
have
water.
to come back and do it again. Some get claustrophobic. Let me tell you, they put you in the fire box in the fire room in that hot, sweaty set, and it's July, and you're out there in Hollywood, and it says, they don't always pass. No. Sometimes they heave and vomit in the suits. It gets really ugly. then.
Nice.
Other times they just pass out. Sometimes they just like freeze in the corner. Yeah. But
'Cause
so they're all qualifiers.
That is the other aspect of the physical side. Because if the boat's going from here to the Antarctic or South Pole, wherever it is,
The Bahamas, Gulf Stream, 12-foot seas.
it's tough.
The Gulf Stream can be tough.
40 miles can be brutal.
Gulf Stream
The
can be
off-stream
hard.
breeze is a killer.
Balance is important.
So you are balancing all sorts of climates and the extreme protections of it.
Yes. Yes.
It is physical.
Yes. Some days are better than other days. And you can start out and be halfway from Sardinia going to Naples, and you're 100 miles from everywhere, and the weather changes. And it isn't what they forecasted.
And you need to hold on.
That was the Wolf of Wall Street. You saw that?
Yeah.
When they threw the chopper off?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like the storm that just hit Genoa and Monaco and
Rapallo.
Barcelona.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
awful.
You saw those
Classic
boats?
example, that was not near what was forecasted. Same kind of storm as what sank Nadine. It was going to be rough. Well, it got a little bit more than just rough.
Is that called a squall, technically? Or is 110 more than a squall?
Yeah, as squalls over there, it was a late mistral, you could say, but it
Mistral.
wasn't really so much as much a mistral. That was very weird. That was very weird weather.
Yeah.
It's interesting as you started saying the Wolf of Wall Street and what's just happened down there. This is what is it used to be called the Gin Palace or Gym Palace?
Gin.
Gin.
Gin, as in the drink.
As including
Yeah, we're back to alcohol again.
I know, here we are.
Martini.
Back to
Because I
my
only
favorite drink.
I only ever see the boats at anchor here, but in actual fact, when you're doing crossings and stuff like that, it's brutal.
That's why you use your Yeti cup so you don't spill your gin.
Yes. Yes. with
You
a
need the
lid.
mag lid. Blimey, so it does seem like then there's a raft of issues, and this goes back to yesterday about you needing insurance because bad things can happen.
Yeah. I broke my back.
Broke your back?
Well, my L1 vertebrae. I was simply coming downstairs with 2 cups of coffee. Rule number 1, 1 hand for you, 1 for the boat. I broke that first rule. 2 cups of coffee. The bottom step was a little longer than the rest of the steps. And second rule, don't wear socks on a boat. Stupid. Either shoes or barefooted. No socks.
They're both number 1.
Yeah, they're both number 1. Stepped on the edge of the step, slipped, wiped out, saved the coffee, broke my back.
Because you would have been scolded as well.
Oh, I wasn't thinking about that. I just didn't want to clean it up. I just didn't want to have to clean up what I just made.
So what happened? You were then...
I was taken from the boat to the hospital in Genoa, where, by the way, they don't speak English. Not in Genoa, sorry, Viareggio. So I lay there in the bed for
They
4
do
days.
speak English. They just refuse to speak English.
Barely, barely. By the way, the bed that you lie on for your X-ray in Viareggio, it's ice cold. It's like stainless steel. And they tell me, "Oh, you can go." I'm like, "But I can't go." And as soon as I try to sit up, the black curtain comes over my eyes. I can't see, so I had to run back through the machine to find the little fracture. So for 4 days, I lied in bed, no pillow, by the way. And they said, "Do you want pastini or broda?" I'm like, I don't know what either of those 2 things are.
Take both.
So they bring it and they put it on a table beside my bed while I'm flattened on my back. And it's broda, which is broth. And so I stick my hand in the soup and I bring it to my mouth. No help at all. Like, just tears streaming down my back.
This
I
is
felt
a good
so
advert
sorry
for
for
Italy.
myself. But
So
the owner took very good care of me, flew me home first class. They sent me back to North Carolina, full medical, full cover. I had to wear a brace for, I think, 12 weeks. That was a full metal brace from here down there. And
For carrying coffee.
yeah, but it wasn't the weight of the coffee. It was the step. It
Yeah.
was the
That hit you
slip
on the right.
and the fact that I didn't have a hand to grab hold with. And I wasn't going to throw the coffee everywhere and like get it everywhere. So I just saved the coffee instead of myself.
Did you ever get injured?
Yes. The vertebrae as well. In St. Lucia on a jolly ashore and got dumped in the sand while body surfing. And same thing, flown to London. Heal up from there. But working on cruise ships, I've seen all sorts of accidents. They're obviously bigger. They do longer journeys and so forth. High seas and fingers being chopped off in between
fingers.
watertight doors and things. And there's
I
all
remember
sorts.
in the medical kit there's a thing for appendages.
Really?
Yeah, in Becky's medical kit. So if
I
your finger
didn't see
does come
that.
off, you put it into a canister and then you got a stump protector. Then
Wow.
you take it back with you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You ever got,
Need to have one of those.
or touch wood, you
An
good?
appendage lost.
I have a few. Had a back compression, crashed doing like 180,
Ouch.
compressed my back, then dislocated my thumb, broke my arm, and both of my ankles. But that was doing motocross, not racing cars.
Both
The
of your
thumb
ankles.
was motocross too?
The thumb was in the race car. Both of my ankles was motocross. Landed short of a jump.
I'm feeling very.
We've
Cushion
described some
never
good
had
drugs
anything.
for that.
No?
Yeah, we did.
I broke a nail last year.
Aw, bless.
It came off, and
Those are the worst.
I could really
That
go. I
is
could
the
really
bad.
lament again about my nail because I smacked it and then it all blistered and I had to
Turned
peel
black.
it off and yeah.
Did you use polish on it for a while just to like make it look like you meant for that to be a different
No,
color?
that's the worst thing that's ever happened to me. Blimey.
Ah,
Well, that's our time. Thank you very much.
my
great.
pleasure.
Hey,
Thank you
And
for having
tomorrow
us.
we're delving into mental health, which is a little more serious and hidden from the physical side, I think.
Yeah, and I don't think the drug tests actually look for mental health drugs. I don't think they're looking for that. I think they're looking for illegal drugs rather than legal drugs.
Stuff to
So-
keep you level.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's going to be interesting. We have a priest. We have,
Wow.
Yeah, we have a priest coming. We have Becky and her boss Mike from MSOS, and we also have the guy who comes to the boat and cleans up when things go wrong.
Oh,
So
like
yeah,
the one that was recent, the Australian Instagram model they found hanging on the
What?
bow. 21 years old. Talked to her mom the day before. She was meant to be leaving 2 days later. Yeah, Sinead, that's her name. Did you
On a
ever hear
boat.
about that one? Super yacht, big boat. Yeah.
Sad.
Be interesting to know what happened there.
yeah.
I bet it was a boy.
It's always a boy.
Always is.
Thank you.
Thank you too.
cheers. Thanks, mate.
Thank you too.
Thank you, Ms. Amy.
Thank you for the opportunity.
I might actually try a Red Bull.
You're good. You'll
A
keep
Red
it
Bull
up.
without vodka.
Very nice to meet you.
Very nice to
My husband plays at SCCA.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
I
I
think
used
so.
to do 24 hours and 12-hour races.
Which one?
Daytona and Sebring.
Like jump car?
He has a truck car, but not that one. He hasn't done the truck car race at all yet.
What does he race? Oh, where does he keep them? Where is he based at?
Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale? Good. So you're here for a
My
while?
phone,
Oh,
my
yeah,
phone
I'm working
died.
with
but
Ocean Alexander.
Let me